Call of Duty Blackout surprised me, and I think this game could possibly take over the Battle Royale industry in one fell swoop by just selling it as a standalone mode. I liked Blackout a lot more than I thought I would, and I think it's got some really good potential, especially if they can get a head start on Battlefield 5's Firestorm by grabbing up as many players as they can. I find it funny that I'm saying this because I wasn't really expecting much from Call of Duty's Battle Royale mode, but after playing it, I think it hits the sweet spot for the modern gaming palette. PUBG is slow, clunky, deliberate, Fortnite's fast, loose, casual. Blackout is, I think, somewhere in the middle, an attractive, fast, yet tactical-ish formula that feels similar enough to traditional first-person shooting fans, yet it does have all the bells and whistles that Battle Royale fans have come to expect. But coming in at a whopping price point of no less than $60 for the base version of Black Ops 4, it won't be affordable by all people, specifically low-income gamers who grew up on cheap or free Battle Royale games like H1Z1 or Fortnite. The truth is, many Battle Royale gamers are going to want Blackout as a standalone game, as they don't care much about COD's other features such as its traditional multiplayer mode, or its half-baked single-player-ish thing. That's because the new COD game has two different markets, and one of them is not demanding a AAA first-person shooter, they're demanding a Battle Royale game, and the economics behind it is actually quite simple. Anyone who already knows that they will already buy Call of Duty will buy Call of Duty with or without Blackout for $60, that's number one. Number two is, anyone who is already not going to buy Call of Duty for $60 probably won't buy Call of Duty just to play Blackout for $60. So a polarizing price point at $60 or else is going to keep anyone willing to spend $20, $30, $40, or $50 for Blackout just out of luck. Why not just sell the traditional COD package at $60 and offer Blackout at $20, $25? I assume they would prefer all the buyers to come in at $60, right? Even if they take on some of the risk of missing out on some of these buyers. So perhaps, as it has been shown in the history of big business, that they're just banking on people to break their spending thresholds, but honestly that's not always a safe assumption. That's because every buyer has a maximum willingness to spend, and if they're priced out, they often look for an alternative that does meet their budget. Given the wealth of competition out there, along the lines of Fortnite, PUBG, Firestorm, etc., maybe it's best to show some flexibility though to a potential player base before they find cheaper alternatives elsewhere. As such, I predict that Blackouts will definitely become a standalone mode to purchase 6 months or so down the road, after Activision gets everyone who would pay $60 to access Blackout to do so, even if they alienate some of those low-income gamers. But the problem associated with the pricing of Blackout within a boxed game that is $60 is that it might not be able to get off the ground without the support of the traditional BR crowd. The Battle Royale community is large and has many options. They also have the propensity to stick to one game, so if Blackout strikes out in sales, they may have been better off allowing BR fans to access Blackouts for like $20 or $30, allowing them at least a chance to get on board with a new game without risking so much money right away. And the reason I say this stuff is because I feel like Blackout is actually capable of being the most popular BR game. It's the first AAA BR game that provides the best of both worlds to both an FPS fan and to a BR fan. You've got the large map, 100 players, you fall from the sky, you pick up guns, you kill people, and you try to be the last one alive. But besides that, Blackout is actually fairly unique in what it offers beyond those traditional elements. While PUBG is too slow at times and Fortnite's building mechanic is quite loved or hated, it leaves room for fans who want a fast-paced and quality BR to jump on board with Blackout if they can afford it. And while it has its problems, it's incredibly accessible, one of the biggest problems that plagues historical BR games. Within your first game, you'll fall back into the familiar COD routine, I guarantee it. And it's that familiarity that makes it so easy to enjoy Blackout, even if you're not a die-hard BR fan, and that's the kicker. It needs some serious work though, namely the inventory management system, which I can only assume was designed by a pack of wild chimps. It's awkward, clumsy, time-consuming, downright non-intuitive, as well as the system for picking up items and interacting with the game's various off-shelf menus. Small things like having to press right-click to lock and interact with the map once you've opened it are a pain and shouldn't require you to spend time flipping on and off menu options to get things to work in a way that makes sense to you. And then there's the armor, which is way too strong. By late game, enemies feel so bullet spongy that they'll give Destiny's bosses a run for their money. Combined with being able to heal on the move, and being able to revive an entire squad at once in a few seconds, it makes encounters feel more like dungeon raids than they do shootouts. And the game looks like dog shit. I know I couldn't expect much from a COD game, but the entire game just looks downright hazy and blurry, even on ultra settings. I don't know how to describe it, that's the best I can do. Thank God though that the frame rate is rock solid, so I guess I can't knock it too much. But aside from those issues and some other small ones, Blackout strikes the perfect storm for me at least, of being what I want from a traditional shooting game and a BR game at the same time. I love how fast it is, and I feel like it's really familiar to me, which is nice, all the while wrapped around the addictive flavor of the month that is the Battle Royale craze. Unlike other multiplayer modes seen in past AAA first-person shooting games, Battle Royale has this really compelling quality to it that I feel is almost needed at this point if you're going to rip single player out of the game to compete with the best of the free-to-play markets today, which do offer some of the most addictive games on the markets because, well, Battle Royale games are also very addictive. Blackout makes BR accessible, easy to get into, fast, pain-free, fun, and mechanically simple. Something that small studios across the world have a really hard time with their cheap BR games. I think if they take Blackout to make it stand alone, the rest of the genre has a lot to worry about because it could absolutely destroy the competition. And coming from a guy who does not like Call of Duty, and who has played every Battle Royale game on the market, that is saying quite a bit. You know, I think the next successful BR game doesn't have to be the best. It just has to hit the right sweet spot for hardcore BR fans and traditional shooting fans to kind of come together. And I think that Blackout could be that game. So there it is, guys. That's some basic information on pricing and my opinions on Blackout. Pretty cool game. Definitely surprised me, and I think it could go a long way if it's a standalone game. Thanks for watching my video today, guys. Leave me your comments down below regarding Blackout, and have yourself a fantastic day.